And if this video gets enough likes, comments, and views, I will continue these each and every week. TNA Impact Wrestling Review for 3/13/2015. Friday the 13th kicks off last man standing match as I'm looking back at my notes. Eric Young versus Bobby Roode. Now, going into this match, I knew it was going to be physical, but I didn't expect it to be as brutal and volatile as it was. These two wrestlers wasted absolutely no time getting physical. These two would bring the fight to the outside of the ring, which was no surprise there. Because, the animosity that exists between these two could not keep inside the four sides. Both would get, 6 sides for TNA nowadays. Both would get the turn to turn the tables outside the ring. Eric Young would then take full control of this match, and the deranged side, the dark side of Eric Young would come out. But then, just like Bobby Roode does, he was able to weather the storm and make a dramatic comeback during this last man standing match outside the ring. A table would also come into play during this match, and most of this match, once again, not to anyone's surprise, was contested outside the ring more than it was inside the ring. Both wrestlers jockeying for position in this one. Truth be told, I was impressed by this entire match. This match is keeping me on the edge of my seat. We would then see steel steps mayhem because Young tried a pile driver to Roode on the steel steps, only for Roode to counter with a devastating back body drop from the top of the stairs to the floor. That was absolutely an oh my god moment, like Joey Styles would say. Roode and Young would both use steel chairs at the same time and then a double clothesline. What a collision on the outside of the ring. And from there, a double clothesline would happen. Both men on the floor, both men on the ground. Who's going to answer the count? Young hit a violent pile driver in the ring once the action got back into the ring, which I'm surprised it did, but it wouldn't stay in the ring for long, let me tell you that. Later on in the match, Bobby Roode would hit his own version of a pile driver on a steel chair. I mean, doing a pile driver is dangerous enough, let alone doing it on the outside of the ring or doing it on a steel chair or steel steps. Absolutely extreme stuff out of this match. Then, the coup de grace, the end. What is going to happen? The climax, the drama. These two guys bringing you the action, and it's intensifying. Roode bomb from the apron through the table, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you heard that right. But Eric Young, he was looking for that pile driver, but it was reversed. And Bobby Roode comes away with the victory in a match that I have to say, 4.5 out of 5 stars. My hat goes off to both competitors. It could have went either way at either time. What a last man standing match that saw a table, chairs, stairs, and of course, the outside of the ring used. Great match, great story, great physicality, and great violence. It was awesome. Great match to kick off TNA Impact Wrestling. Remember, if you want me to keep doing these reviews every single week, leave your comments, your opinions, your views, and we'll do this every week. But what a great effort by both. What a last man standing match. The way a last man standing match should be. And in the second match of the night, it would feature Drew Galloway, who cut a pretty good promo that I think he was directing towards WWE. But it ended up being about MVP. But we all know what Drew Galloway was talking about, the former Drew McIntyre. He would go one-on-one against MVP. This match wasn't anything special because it wasn't given enough time, but I would still say it was decent. Ends in a disqualification. Drew Galloway was about to pick up the victory until MVP's clan would aggressively and violently and brutally destroy Drew Galloway to the point where they would make him bleed, and bleed bad they did. This is an okay segment along with the match, so I'll give it a passing grade of 3 out of 5 stars because you are seeing the development and you are seeing Drew Galloway, battle the odds. And how is Drew Galloway going to be able to come back after this? Is he going to hire someone? Is he going to get people on his side? How is he going to be able to combat these beatings and the hell that he's about to go through? But it's damn nice to see Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway, once again in pro wrestling, this time in TNA. So, 3 out of 5 stars for this. And up next, TNA Impact Wrestling, it was Bram versus Magnus. Now, this match started under extreme circumstances. It started outside the ring, but then the match would get back into the ring. Now, this was not your regular wrestling match. This match focused around the injuries to Magnus. Should Magnus have been in this match? But this was an uphill challenge, and Magnus was able to hold his own until a low blow disqualification on Bram's part. But oh no, the violence, the embarrassment wouldn't stop there. Because Bram would do the ultimate. He would tie Magnus to the ropes. And then he would take Mickie James and threaten physical violence. Threaten to probably attack her. Threaten to take her down as Magnus had to watch on as he was tied to the ropes. This was absolutely underhanded tactics by Bram. This was disrespectful, reprehensible. It was degrading. And the only way that he would not do some physicality to Mickie James, who was pregnant, is if Magnus would kiss the foot of Bram. And Magnus had to do what he had to do to protect Mickie James. So that's what he did. Magnus actually kissed the foot, the boot of Bram, but psychological. This messes you up. You don't do something. You don't go to that length. It was a good segment. It was a good storyline. And it's degrading, but you got to do what you got to do. And tell you what, talk about going to all-time levels, all-time lows by Bram. Bram has not heard the last of this situation. Magnus has retribution on his mind. I'll give this whole segment, though, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And on to the next match. And up next, it was Brooke versus Robbie. Now, this wasn't anything much of a match. Shenanigans, antics. But Brooke was able to weather the storm, and she was able to overcome the odds after a miscue when Jesse would end up drop-kicking his own partner, Robbie. And then jackknife cover, and Brooke ends up getting the victory. But she actually took some hard hits in this, a suplex, a couple punches, slam. She took a little bit of a beating, did Brooke, but she was able to mount a comeback, and she was able to kick ass, and she actually got the victory over Robbie. Like I said, not much to report, not much of a match here, but you got to give it up to Brooke after that miscue. And Velvet Sky even got involved, and she was still able to, outdo them too. So congratulations there. And up next, it was the main event, the main attraction. It was indeed here versus here. Rockstar Spud versus EC3. Now, the theme of tonight was the outside of the ring, because this came into play a lot during many matches tonight. But Spud started strong, to my surprise. But that was cut very short when EC3 would take over. And then after that, things got a little bit downright ugly. And when I say bad, things went from bad to worse, and this got to an ugly situation. It was bloody, it was battered, it was violent. Hell, Rockstar Spud was bleeding like a damn faucet. You got to give this guy a ton of credit. What heart, what will, what determination. You see, we seen Mr. Anderson, we seen Tyrus come out during this match, trying to fight for their respective superstars, trying to come to the aid. But in the end, after this brutal physical encounter, it would be EC3 who would come away with the victory. But what a bloody affair that this was. Holy crap. And, what blood, what intensity, what physicality. And that's the name of the night. Physicality, bad blood, boiling over. This was absolutely extreme. And TNA, they didn't, gray out the whole scene. They showed a majority of the blood. And this was blood-stained galore, I'll tell you what, in TNA tonight. So, matches of the night, obviously the opening match, the last man standing match. And if this match right here, this is the second match of the night, in my opinion. Rockstar Spud gave it everything he had. So next week, it's on to Kurt Angle versus the TNA World Champion, Bobby Lashley. Lashley versus Kurt Angle. If you want me to keep reviewing, if you want me to keep, uploading about TNA, giving my view and my opinion, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share this video. If you want me to continue doing TNA reviews, I'd give this show, since it's only a 2-hour show, this ain't a 3-hour show like Raw, I'm going to only rate it out of 5 stars instead of 10. I got to give it a solid 4 out of 5. A night about wrestling, a night about impact, no pun intended. Not to mention the ruthless aggression and the violent side of EC3. We thought he was showing respect, shaking the hand of Rockstar Spud, but instead he just brutalized him and beat him up, won the match, but it wasn't enough. He had to add salt to the wound. What a despicable, sick display on the part of EC3, but it is what it is. Subscribe, your comments, your opinions if you want me to continue doing TNA Impact reviews. Later.